Before we go about animating this character, I wanted to quickly call out that the generated armature needs to have its origin set to the center of the world. The extension should handle that for you, but if it didn't for some reason, it's a pretty easy fix. You can just Shift S, cursor to world origin, click the armature, right click, set origin to 3D cursor. Okay, on to the fun stuff. We're going to click this animation tab up here, and then we're going to select the armature, and we're going to make sure that we are in pose mode, and that down here, we have the action editor selected. I'm just going to make a new animation here, and I'm going to call it wave. We're just going to do a simple wave animation where the character raises one of his arms and then lowers it back down. So for this animation, I'm going to start it with him just being in his pose at rest here. So down here, you can select what frame of the animation you want to be currently working on. So we're going to leave this at frame 1. And then with my mouse up in this portion, I'm going to hit A to select all of these bones. And then I'm going to press I for insert keyframe. And you can see all these yellow dots were added down here in the animation panel. So what these are is it's just the storing of the transforms of these objects. So in this case, the rotation and the position and the scale. And so on the first frame, nothing's happened, right? Because we've just stored the at rest pose that he's already in. But if I were to go to frame 20 here and just select this bone and then R to rotate, X to rotate on the X axis, and then move it up here. And then once again, remember to hit I to insert keyframes. Now, if I play this animation, you're going to notice nothing happens. And that's because we had selected frame 20 down here and it kept playing. And you can see that the animation is 250 frames long. So let's fix that. Let's just change this to 20 right now. Okay, so now if we hit play, you can see we already have an animation. It looks pretty bad, but you can see what's happening, right? It starts on frame 1, it goes to frame 20, he raises this arm, and then it snaps back to place on frame 1 again. So how can we fix that? Well, the simple thing to do is just to duplicate these frames that are on the first frame and then put them on, I don't know, frame 40. So I'm just going to select these, Control C to copy, and then with this frame selected down here, Control V to paste. And then I'm going to go up here and change this to 40. And then hit play again. Now you can see that his arm is returning to place. If we're trying to make a looping animation, right, like a walk cycle, this is what we want. There's a couple issues with this, though, that are really hard to tell because this is a very simple animation, but I'll try to show you. So if we go to frame 39 here and zoom in, and then go to frame 40, you can see that there is a little bit of movement. Now, this is an issue because frame 40 has been duplicated from frame 1. So if you have a more complicated animation, and especially one in which there's more movement going on, like a run cycle, you're going to have like a little hiccup or a little giddy up in the character step. So what you can do is you can go to this 39th frame and just insert a keyframe here. Just be explicit about these things being stored. And then you can delete frame 40, right? So now you have continuity still where you stop on frame 39 and then continue on 1 and you have no duplicated frames. So I'm going to change this to 39 now. Again, it's pretty hard to tell, but this is a smoother animation now. The other thing that I like to do, and I've just found a lot of success with doing this, it's not strictly necessary, but I like to come down here, make sure your cursor's down here, hit A to select all of these, and then T is in Tom, and then select linear. This sets the interpolation of these frames that we didn't define to linear. What does that mean? So we define the transforms here, here, and here, but the computer just has to decide still what goes on in between here. So it does a simple algorithm to do that. Linear just means it's going to be nice and smooth throughout. So I would suggest, especially for this animation system, always selecting all of these frames at any part of the process, but especially when you're done. And again, hit T as in Tom, and then linear. Okay, so that's it. We have a simple animation, and we are ready to go ahead and import this into Horizon World. So I'll see you in the next video.